All right, so I am right now, I'm in the Jenny Lake Park area, and it is getting packed, and it's like almost what, 8:15, 8:30, and I suggest you get here early in the morning so you can get a parking spot, especially if you guys are coming in your RV, little smaller ones, not the big one, trailers or anything like that. But it looks beautiful. I can't wait. But it is getting packed, and I'm hoping for today I get my passport stamped at Jenny Lake. I decided to get it at Jenny Lake instead of Culture Bay, just because Jenny Lake is kind of like the iconic area, but you make sure you have your mask. This is still required, and go from there. But I don't know if it's open now. But the Tetons are beautiful. So right now I'm going to go hike the Jenny Lake Trail. It should be 7.9 miles ish. Now I might just cheat and just take the boat cross and come and then walk myself back, but I have to see if what the reservations is on the boat. So let's go find out what that is. What's that all about? But it's beautiful out here. The weather's nice. It's not hot. It's supposed to be. It did storm yesterday, so it brought in a lot of the cool air. So I want to see what's going on here. Okay, that's the Jenny Lake store. Unfortunately, you don't buy your tickets there. You got to go down this way and go to the shuttle. Go to the shuttle and buy your tickets. So let's see how far this goes. Teton Falls Inspiration Point morning hike program today at 8:45.
So, if you're going to be joining me to this morning on my hike, I'll just have you come over to the relief map so I know my audience, so I can see who's all joining me today.
I don't know, man. I might just do this hike real fast.
That's totally fine. All right, so looks like you are going to be joining me this morning. All right, first and foremost, I'm going to start with introductions. My name is Miguel. I have been working for Grand Teton for 5 years. I started my career off at the south end of the park and kind of moved up here towards Jenny Lake. So if you have any questions about park related or anything like that, I can definitely be a great resource as we continue our hike. The hike, just to kind of give you a quick synopsis, is going to be about 0.9 miles hike from here to Moose Ponds, where by ear, apparently there has been some moose down there. So that's always exciting to see along the way. So if you are definitely going to be joining me through all that, we'll be able to talk a little bit about moose. All right, so with that being said, though, I just want to talk a little bit about our publications, because this is always just a great resource to have if you don't know. I always start off with the Junior Ranger. You are never too old or you are never too young to do this. So this is something that I absolutely love. They're just fun activities, but not to mention you do get this really cool badge. Lastly, here is the park newspaper. This is the old one, but the new one's gonna be in that blue kiosk, but I also have some here in my backpack. This thing, I call this the Pocket Ranger. So this newspaper, if you haven't gotten one already, it is super beneficial just because it's going to tell you everything you need to know about Grand Teton, where to find wildlife, what to do in the park if you're just simply exploring, or if you have any hikes in mind. It's going to give you every single trail here in full detail, whether that's elevation wise, how many hours it's going to take, and then what it is round trip. So this newspaper is super helpful to have.
Okay, Shadow's gonna wait. We're gonna go on this little trail. He said there's moose, so get excited. This is what happens when you get up in the morning. You have no idea what's going to happen, but you have time. This is cool.
Teton National Park, and of course in Montana as well. But for winter ticks, for instance, because of our winters not being as severely cold as they used to be, the ticks don't naturally die off like they should. So they stay on the moose and they stay latched on like their shoulder or back. Now because of that reason, they can grow and reproduce on the moose to about 100,000 to 200,000 ticks on the moose. Now what that does is that's going to cause anemia, and that's going to cause the moose to bleed out and die. So right now, these are the things that are affecting the moose, is the winter ticks, and that's during the winter. And then during the summer, extreme heat, which we've been having. I talked about this morning that moose are heat-sensitive animals, so having that that severe heat also gives them heat stress, and they can die that way too. So basically, it's a double-edged sword for those moose here in the park. But for particularly for moose, the way that you can identify a healthy moose versus a non-healthy moose, and this might be a little bit harder, but right here we call this a mild case, is you're going to see almost a bald spot on the moose's shoulder, right? So this is the moose personally reaching over and ripping the ticks off of its shoulder, right? And so that is one way that it tries to naturally remove the ticks off itself. Now, there is going to come a point where it's actually going to spread down to its lower back, and then furthermore. So now the moose is, instead of just focusing in one area, it's ripping all the fur off as much as it can on its lower back, right? And then it's going to be so much that it's going to be severe where you're actually going to see behavioral issues. You're going to see them acting a little bit strangely. You're going to see them moving a little bit slow or freezing in a long period of time in one spot, not really moving, but their behavior is a little bit unnatural, right? Or they kind of, like, for instance, this picture, they're kind of laying low and not doing much. That is another behavioral issue that more or less so can mean that their life is very short here. Lastly, here we call this the ghost moose. This is where the moose is ripped off so much fur that it possibly could, that it more or less so does not have any on its back. Now, because of them ripping that fur off, essentially, now they're fully exposed to the heat, right? So their fur acts as a nice little buffer, a nice little layer for that direct sunlight. But now they don't have any of that if they rip that off, right? So not too good for them. Right now, the things that we can do to prevent that, nothing. Unfortunately, nothing right now. The only thing that we can do right now is just take studies of how they're doing. I think there will come a time where scientists can kind of intervene, maybe give them something to help them with the ticks. But right now, there's nothing that we can do. When you do see a moose, potentially here in the park or anywhere you go, try to look out for these bald spots. More or less, though, the ticks, what they'll do, because if they're on their shoulder, the moose are gonna rip them off. But try to also look on their hind legs too a little bit. So if you see a little bit of like a whole bunch of glistening things, you know that those are just ticks on the moose. So not a very happy thing for the.
Okay, so I just did, well, finished up the like the 0.8 miles for the Moose Trail. I only went to the pond, and I kind of came back the same way. Just because I'm pressed for time. It's almost like 10:45, and I want to get to the Cascade Canyon Trail, and I want to get to the observation point as well and do that. Just because I just want to be in the right perfect time for that. I'm not sure if I want to do the full trail, but we are going. We're going to see if I'm going to do the full trail of it or just do half of it and go from there. I'm probably just going to do half of the Cascade Canyon Trail and then come back. Now I said about the Highland Trail and did the whole thing. So, but I'm going to see right now. But right now I'm going to take the boat, the Jenny Lake boat. I mean, take the little boat across the Jenny Lake to get halfway there and start there, so I can at least save some time. And then I'm probably going to have to walk it back and go from there. I should pay the both ways just in case I come back at 7 o'clock, but who knows? We'll figure it out when I get over there by the boat and figure it all out. But let's keep going. But the lake, everyone's got their little canoes out and everything. I should canoe it out here. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful, guys. It's out here. The weather's nice right now because of that rainstorm. It's just beautiful weather. Why can't it just be like this nice weather for the whole day? But let's get on the boat. Thank you guys for watching. Please keep subscribing to Coast Guide Adventures and also follow me on Facebook and also follow me on Instagram. Subscribe, and I will see you guys later.